Yeah. Put 'em up, y'all. Put 'em up, y'all. Yeah.
We will worship the Lamb of glory. We will worship the King of Kings. We will worship the Lamb of glory. We will worship the King. We bless the name of the Lamb of glory.
Come on.
We bless the name of the King of Kings. We bless the name of the Lamb of glory. We bless the name of the King.
Put 'em up, y'all.
And with our hands lifted high, we come before you and sing. And with our hands lifted high, we come before you and join sing. With our hands lifted high to the sky, and the world wonders why. We'll dance, tell them we love our King. We will worship the Lamb of glory. We will worship the King of Kings. We will worship the Lamb of glory, and we will worship the King.
Specific rules here at ACC. The first rule is we are a happy church. We're a happy church in the capacity.
We're happy.
We want to be here. There's going to be times that you don't feel like being here, but you do come because you know that the benefits and the fruit that will come from you showing
Jeremy
up
rode
with
bus
the body
all
of
night
Christ
just to be here.
is really, really of value to your life. You're also here not because you feel like you're going to gain some kind of merit or brownie points for for showing up at church one morning. You're just here because you have intended in your heart, I want to be there because I want to hear about the things of God. And then secondly, we are a grace-filled church. As you know, we're all, most of us are foreigners in a land that's not our own. And we're going to be meeting people that don't have the same belief systems. We're going to be meeting people that maybe don't look like us or dress like us. And what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the grace of God and allow them to just come and be around us to check out what God looks like. What does He look like? What does He look like through us and to us? And when we're having differences of opinion and we're having maybe differences in culture, we're going to display grace so that that gives us a door to influence and to be influenced because God wants to teach us through people as well. So I really love the two rules that we have. So if we will follow happiness and grace, we'll be really, really blessed. We had the wonderful privilege of having our former pastor from Bangkok with us here today. And more than just a pastor, he's become quite a friend. He's become quite a mentor to my husband. And we really, really appreciate his works in Thailand. He's been a missionary here for many years, and he knows a lot about the culture, and he knows a lot about religiosity within this culture, so he's been a real benefit to us just to have gone out before us. So he's going to come and share with us today. And in between blending the blender, whoever's going to get that smoothie, I hope you enjoy it. Because it came at a price.
I want to present some things, Joni. I want to give you today a model for understanding Christianity and what Christianity is all about. This is something that you can use for yourself to understand the basics of Christianity. But it's also something that if you remember, you can use to share Christianity with other people and to make sure you hit the basic points of what Christianity is all about, what it is that we teach about Christianity. I want you to understand what I am talking about is the way the world really is. So some people think Christianity is religion. Christianity is something else. You believe, but I believe this and you believe that. Well, that's not what I'm saying. When I say Christianity, what I mean is what I truly believe is the way the world really is. Christianity explains the world better than any other system, philosophical or religious system. When you look at all the problems of the world and you look at all the solutions of the world, Christianity has the best answers to the way the world really is. And so we've got to understand when we're sharing Christianity with people, we're not just saying, well, I'm a Christian and this is what I believe, and you're a Hindu, so that's what you believe, and you're a Buddhist, so that's what you believe. No, what you're saying is, this is what I believe the world really is like. These things really did happen, and when you apply these principles to real life, this is going to work. This is real. So that's the first thing I want you to understand. When you're sharing your faith, don't get into the trap, well, I believe and you believe. Because that's not what we're saying, and that's not what Christianity is saying. And the truth is, this is what every other religion is saying. Every other religion and every other philosophical system is saying, this is the way I believe the world really is. And we're saying, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. This is the way the world really is. And I want to show you how Christianity is true. That's what we're all about. And to show Christianity is true is there's 2 points. First, it's reason to just show them, look, this is how my view of the world really works in the real world. And the second is the way that Paul tells it's not one or the other, it's both and. And you can see this throughout history. The other part is to show the power of God. Both of those go hand in hand together when we're sharing our faith with each other. It's not just one or the other. It's not all the power of God and no reason. And it's not all reason and not the power of God. It's both. We've got to be able to give a reason, as Peter said, for the faith that is within us, as well as demonstrate to people that when we say God is all powerful, God really is all powerful. It's got to be both ends. So when we're sharing Christianity, we can remember 5 words. And here are the 5 words to remember. God, humans, Jesus, the cross, and resurrection. Those 5 words summarize the Christian worldview and the Christian faith. Christ. It's like this. Let's say you embezzled some money. You embezzled a lot of money. And you spent it all. And you finally get caught. And you get pulled before the judge. And you're guilty. All the evidence is there. You're guilty. And the judge stands up there in his big black robe and he says, guilty. You have to pay back every single penny or you're going to go away to jail. And you're like, I can't pay. That's more money than I can ever pay back. I can never get that money back legally. It's not possible. I can't do it. There's no way out. I'm stuck. And then the judge stands up, takes off his robe, and comes down in front of the bench and pays your fine to the bailiff. Pays the full amount. He's a rich judge, he can do it. Writes a check for all the amount of the money, rips off the check, goes to the bailiff and says, you're free and clear. I came down from my bench and I paid your penalty. That's what Jesus did for us. We can choose to accept it or say, forget you, and go off to jail. It's our choice. But even more than that, after he pays off the fine, he says to us, guess what? I'm going to adopt you, and I'm going to take you home with me, have you come into my family, and I'm going to teach you how to live life in my kingdom. Now that you're free, now that your debt has been paid off. That's what God's done for us. Not only has He paid off our debt, but He's adopted us into our family and says, now, this is how you should live to stay out of further trouble. Other thoughts about it, and if you read the early sermons in the Christian church, this is what the early sermons all talked about. Now you're forgiven. Don't sin because you'll be punished for what you've done. In other words, we will be held accountable for what we've done with what God has given us since we've been born again. And so we need to stand before God and say, we have been faithful with what God has given us. We have done well with what God has given us. Or we haven't. Paul says some will go through the flames, the judgment, and suffer loss as they go through the flames. Meaning there's something there. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it all pans out. I'm not going to speculate that way. But the whole point is, it's not just, oh, I'm forgiven. Now I can go on and live my life the way I've been living it, and it doesn't matter because I'm all forgiven. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says there will come a day of judgment where we all be judged according to what we have done. Some will get great rewards, some will suffer loss. This is for the saved. The problem is those who don't receive God's pardon get the full punishment, which is separation from God forever. But there will come a judgment. And that's why we need to, number one, we need to tell people about Jesus so they won't be lost. And number two, we need to be faithful that God has given us for our own selfish gain. We want to stand before God, and we want to hear God say, well done, good and faithful servant. We want to be faithful with what God has given us. We're not supposed to just, okay, I'm saved, I can do whatever I want. That's the Christian worldview. God, human, Jesus, the cross, reserved. That's 25 minutes. Now, if I might have 5 more minutes, we'll have your grace within us, and that we would be able, Lord, to give a reason for the faith that was in us, and also, Lord, by your grace and by your power and your authority, demonstrate, Lord, that you are sovereign and Lord over all the earth. In your name, Jesus.
Thank you, Pastor Kelly. And it was really neat because he actually led into what we normally do on Sundays, which is when we gather into small groups, we will just confirm that we understood.
You guys can all hear me, okay? All right. Basically, he just confirmed that we understood his message. And we do things just a little differently here. What we'd like to do is just break into small groups of about 3 or 4 people. And we're going to talk about, during the message, we understand that y'all understood it, but what did God speak to you specifically about through the message? It could have something to do with the message, or it could be something completely having nothing to do with the message He just wanted to speak to you this morning. So we'd like to have you to share that with one another. And then secondly, what are you going to do in response to what the Holy Spirit did speak to you this morning? And then thirdly, we want to just pray for you. It could be about what you heard from the Lord, in response to me, or it can just be a personal prayer for you or somebody else. We'd like to do that as well. Before we break into the small...
Hear the Spirit call. Come just as you are. Come and